Today on Review This Thing, we're going to review this thing, the Meadow Creek Mounts Low Profile Rib Clamp Mount. If you've ever wanted to mount a red dot sight to your shotgun, but your shotgun doesn't already have a rail, or it's not drilled and tapped, or you don't want to take it to a gunsmith, then Meadow Creek Mounts may be exactly what you're looking for. I've been using a red dot on my turkey gun for several years, and whenever I saw these mounts, I thought this would be something I definitely needed to check out. We've got it mounted to a couple different guns, and we've been shooting it quite a bit, and I want to let you know what we think. So, let's review this thing. As always on Review This Thing, we cover the facts. The first part is fit. There are two components I want to talk about when it comes to fit. The first is, will the Meadow Creek Mount fit your shotgun? The answer to this question is actually pretty simple. Whenever you get your kit for the mount, it comes with 6 different spacers. So you just find the spacer that fits most snugly to your rib, and then that spacer slides into the mount so that it's going to fit snugly on that rib. Then there's a bottom plate that you slide underneath, and you just screw those two together, and then you're able to mount your sight directly onto that Meadow Creek mount right on the rib of your shotgun. One thing I do want to point out real quick, whenever you're screwing those two plates together, the bottom plate may bend a little bit, which I was assured is perfectly normal, and it doesn't affect the performance of the mount at all. According to the Meadow Creek Mounts website, they have a mount that will fit basically any shotgun except the Browning Maxus 1, but it also says that that's coming soon. So basically, if you have a shotgun that has a rib on it, then you can find one that'll fit. Going through the ordering process is actually very helpful in terms of fit. You're going to choose which optic that you're going to use. The other part is you need to make sure that it's going to fit your shotgun. So you choose, is it going to be an over and under, side by side, that sort of thing. And that'll help make sure there's plenty of room for the bottom plate to slide through that rib. They pretty much thought of everything whenever it comes to ordering. And I will definitely say it fits very snugly to the rib on both the shotguns that we've tried it on. The second part is, will it fit your optic? And in that ordering process, we talked about you decide what optic you're going to put on it. And it lists out tons of different optics, so there should be one to fit your optic. Now, if for some reason you don't see yours listed, give them a call, and their customer service is fantastic, and they'll definitely send you in the right direction. And then the newest addition to the Meadow Creek Mounts lineup is the Picatinny rail mount. And that's what I have this red dot on this shotgun with, because there wasn't a plate that would fit it. If your red dot will fit on a pick rail or weaver rail, then you can fit any red dot to it. So how will we score fit? Pretty much, since you can find one to fit any shotgun, basically any optic, and because once it's on there, it's very sturdy, not really any play left in it, I'm gonna have to give fit a 5 out of 5. Now is the Meadow Creek Mount as advertised. First thing advertised is optimal red dot placement for clear field of view. The really nice thing about this is that you can choose how far down your gun that you want to place your sight. So if you like having it really close, then you can put it at the first rib. If you like it further away, so you feel like you have more ability to see, then you can slide it down the rib. It definitely is the lowest mounting option because you don't have an additional rail on top of the gun and it's not so close. Another thing they advertise is that it makes it easier to reach the control of your red dot. I would say that's definitely true because a lot of times if that red dot is a lot closer to the trigger, it's harder to get up and reach it without having to move your hand. If this is mounted further down the barrel, then your forward hand should be a lot closer. So if you need to adjust the illumination, you should be able to just reach up a little bit easier and do that. And finally, they advertise low-cost weapon modification without drilling or tapping needed. And we've shown you that's absolutely what this is for. As far as low cost, the regular mount is right at $50, and then this pick rail mount is right at $55. So it's right in line with other add-on modifications like the one that I have on my gun that I use most of the time. And it's also easy to use and does not require, like we mentioned, any additional modification to the weapon itself. So far, we've loved it on the guns that we've tried it on. I actually took this one turkey hunting just a couple weeks ago and was able to get a turkey with it. Loved having the sight where it was. I definitely felt like I could see more of what was going on around me. So because of that, we're going to give as advertised a 5 out of 5. Now onto construction and durability. The first thing I want to talk about is the fact that Meadow Creek Mounts are made in the USA. Anytime I can say that, I like to point that out. They're also constructed of black anodized aluminum, so they're very sturdy, very well made. We've been able to get a very snug fit. We've shot it on a 20 gauge and a 12 gauge with regular shells and with TSS shells. And if you've shot TSS, you know those things pack quite a punch. Shot several through each one, and the sight has definitely maintained 0 with all that shooting. And like I said, I did take it turkey hunting, so carrying around the woods, climbing hills, crawling, and it stayed right where it needed to. I definitely like the ability to mount it to virtually any shotgun and to be able to put your sight where you want it to. and you don't have to worry about seeing a gunsmith to get your gun tapped or purchasing a gun that already has the ability to do that. Now, I will say with the construction of this pick rail mount that I have, the only downside is that it is elevated because it's a pick rail and then the sight mounted on top of that. So with this particular gun, which is more of a waterfowl type gun, I could have probably benefited from a higher cheek pad, but number one, I probably could have slid it down a little further to help with that. And number two, it wouldn't be that hard to throw an additional cheek pad on there just so I have a little bit more elevation so I can see directly through the sight without having to hold my head up. That's not really an issue with the mount as much as it is an issue with the style of the stock. Maybe if it had a Monte Carlo style stock or a stock that's a little bit more designed for turkey hunting, it wouldn't even be an issue at all. So how am I going to rate construction and durability? So far, we've loved it. We've had it for a month or so now, shot it quite a bit, taken them turkey hunting, and had no issues. So because of that, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5. Now on to testimonials and reviews. So based on my quick search, the primary place where you can purchase Meadow Creek mounts is directly from their website. And looking at their website, I couldn't really find any reviews. So I went searching through some forums and other places to see if I could find anything negative people had to say. The only thing I could find was that in one particular turkey hunting forum, they were talking about it making it too elevated and they couldn't get their cheek weld directly onto the stock. However, I read a little bit more and figured out that all of those people had just been using the bead on their shotgun. So they really weren't used to using a red dot at all. I would definitely say that having the mount, especially one that isn't the pick rail mount, makes it significantly lower than even the mount that I have on the other shotgun I shoot. And that pretty much was the only negative comment I could find anywhere. So I couldn't find a score, so I can't tell you a score. So we're just going to move on. So for testimonials and reviews, stay tuned. Now for the most important question, should you buy this thing? I'm just going to go ahead and put it out there and say that you should definitely give these Meadow Creek mounts a try. Especially if you have a shotgun you want to put a red dot on that doesn't already have a rail or isn't drilled and tapped for rails. I'm actually considering switching out the setup that I've been using for the past couple of years so that I can mount my red dot directly to the rib and have it sit even lower for a more comfortable resting position as well as a better cheek weld. I mentioned prices earlier, and for $50 and $55, I really don't know that you're going to find a whole lot better option. So should you buy the Meadow Creek mount? I already told you, yes, you absolutely should. 5 out of 5. Hey, thanks for watching our Meadow Creek Mount review video. While you're here, take a few minutes and go ahead and watch a whole bunch of other videos. If you like it, give us a thumbs up. Comment also if you have any questions or if you want to tell us about your experience. And if you really like what we do, we would definitely appreciate it if you would subscribe. Also, take a second and go check us out on Facebook and on Instagram.